What happens when being openly gay in a conservative culture doesn't stop you, but actually launches you into stardom? Today, we're celebrating 5 Filipino stars who didn't just come out. They came through, showed up, and turned their truth into power. From primetime actors to fashion world disruptors, these men are redefining masculinity, beauty, and queer pride across the Philippines and beyond. And let me tell you, number 3 didn't just break the mold. He shattered it, walked away in full glam, and owned every headline that followed. Whether it's a soft boy next door vibe or sharp red carpet glam, these 5 celebs prove that being openly gay isn't just accepted anymore. It's admired. Stick around till the end and let us know. Which of these inspiring men made you feel proud, seen, or even a little emotional? Drop their number in the comments. Let's celebrate their courage together. And where are you watching from? We want to know. Markki Stroem, the jazzman who dared to be bold. Markki Stroem isn't just another handsome face on Philippine television. He's the gay heartthrob who brought art, edge, and authenticity to an industry that often prefers silence over truth. From the moment he stepped onto the stage during Pilipinas Got Talent, Markki had that quiet intensity. A man with a voice like velvet and a look that made cameras linger. But what truly set him apart wasn't just talent, it was bravery. In an entertainment world that rarely embraces fluidity, Markki didn't play safe. He played real. After years of speculation, Markki began openly speaking about his sexuality. Not through a dramatic press conference or viral coming out post, but through his art. He took roles others were afraid to touch. In the controversial film Unlocked, he portrayed a gay man navigating isolation and desire during the pandemic. The scenes were raw, vulnerable, and sensual. And yes, he faced backlash. But his response was simple. I'm an artist. I tell stories that matter. Whether walking a red carpet in a tailored suit or performing at jazz lounges with a quiet fire in his eyes, Markki exudes a kind of queer masculinity that refuses to be boxed in. He's not trying to fit any stereotype. He's rewriting the rules altogether. Behind the stage lights, Markki is also a fierce advocate for mental health and queer visibility. He frequently uses his platform to speak about LGBTQ+ youth, discrimination, and what it means to live fully and freely. People say I'm brave, he shared in an interview, but I'm just tired of hiding. And if my story helps someone else stop hiding, then I've done my job. His social media is a beautiful blend of sultry photo shoots, throwback jazz sessions, and unapologetic self-love. One viral post showed him shirtless, lounging on a velvet couch with the caption, "Comfort is queer, power is queer, so am I." The internet, as expected, broke a little, but Markki's impact goes far beyond thirst traps and applause. He represents a generation of Filipino gay men who are no longer asking for permission. They're simply being. This year, he's set to star in another queer-centered film, this time diving into themes of aging, legacy, and chosen family. And if his past work is any clue, it's going to challenge hearts, minds, and maybe even the norms of mainstream media once again. Because Markki Stroem doesn't just play roles, he embodies resistance, elegance, and that rare kind of queer confidence that says, yes, I'm here, and I'm exactly who I need to be. Drop a 1 if Markki made you feel more seen, more proud, or more ready to own who you are. Paolo Pangilinan, the soft power of queer visibility. Paulo Pangilinan didn't need a big movie premiere, a viral post, or a controversial scandal to become a gay icon in the Philippines. All it took was one quietly powerful role and the courage to own it completely. He rose to fame through the BL, Boys Love, phenomenon Gaya sa Pelikula, where he played Carl, an architecture student who slowly falls in love with his male roommate. But what made this show, and Paulo's performance, so groundbreaking was how normal it felt. No tragic endings, no forced stereotypes, just soft, slow-burning love, wrapped in Filipino culture, awkward silences, and the sweet ache of coming out. For millions of queer Filipinos watching from home, Carl wasn't just a character, he was them. And Paulo? He became the face of a new kind of visibility, thoughtful, gentle, and real. What fans didn't expect was that Paulo would also be just as open in real life. He's one of the few openly gay actors in Philippine showbiz who embraced his sexuality from the very beginning of his career. No publicist rewrites, no carefully crafted ambiguity, just Paulo being Paulo. In interviews, he's never tried to dodge the topic. Instead, he speaks with a calm confidence that feels both refreshing and radical in a region where queer stars are still often told to tone it down. Visibility isn't about screaming all the time, he once said. Sometimes it's just standing still and refusing to hide. Paulo is also a licensed medical doctor, a fact that blows people's minds. Yes, the man breaking hearts on screen is also out here saving lives. Talk about brains and beauty. He's used his unique position to advocate not just for LGBTQ+ rights, but also for mental health and HIV awareness in the Philippines. His fashion? Effortless. Often seen in flowy neutrals, oversized shirts, or the occasional silk ensemble, Paulo's style leans soft masculine, but always with confidence. At a Pride-themed editorial last year, he wore a sheer barong Tagalog embroidered with the words, "Live Loud," and fans went wild. But perhaps the most powerful thing about Paulo is how unbothered he is by pressure. In a world that often demands queer people explain themselves, he just exists. With ease, with intention, and with quiet rebellion. This year, he's been working on new indie projects centered on queer identity in Filipino diaspora communities, and fans are ready. Every step of his journey has felt like a small act of revolution, made not through shouting but through staying, because Paolo Pangilinan reminds us that there's power in being soft, pride in being still, and beauty in being real. Drop a 2 if Paulo's quiet confidence speaks louder than any headline ever could. Kaloy Ting Chungcho, the rising queer heartthrob redefining romance. If you've been watching the rise of BL Boys Love content in the Philippines, then you've seen a shift, not just in storytelling, but in who's telling the story. And Kaloy Tingcungco, he's one of the brightest stars in this new queer wave. Kaloy burst into public attention through his breakout role in Game Boys 2 and Love at the End of the World, 2 queer series that didn't just make waves locally, but reached fans across Asia and beyond. But it wasn't just the roles that caught attention. It was how naturally, how fearlessly, and how emotionally Kaloy brought them to life. Viewers instantly fell for his soft eyes, that playful smirk, and the way he could make a romantic line feel deeply personal. He didn't act like he was playing gay, he simply played human. And in a media landscape where queer roles are often overacted or mocked, Kaloy's performance felt like a breath of fresh air. In interviews, Kaloy has openly discussed his support for the LGBTQ+ community, including his deep respect for the fans who have rallied behind BL series. While he hasn't publicly labeled his sexuality, his support has always been sincere and vocal. "Love is love," he said. "I'm honored to tell these stories, and I know how much they matter." Social media loves him for his versatility. One minute, he's in full glam mode, styled in sheer fabrics, pearls, or soft lighting. The next, he's casually dressed, unfiltered, laughing in a car with co-stars. Kaloy knows how to switch between boy next door and undeniable star with ease. And that's part of the magic. This year, he made headlines again after being cast in a new queer series expected to premiere on a global streaming platform, The Role. A bisexual musician navigating love, fame, and identity. Early previews show steamy moments, emotionally charged monologues, and yes, Kaloy doing his own singing. Fans are already losing it. But behind the camera, Kaloy is thoughtful, grounded, and deeply aware of the cultural impact of his work. He's talked about how portraying queer love has changed the way he views masculinity, emotions, and storytelling in general. "We're not just acting," he said in one interview. "We're unlearning years of stigma together." Kaloy is also part of a growing number of actors in the Philippines who are breaking the idea that queer stories are niche. His work is proof that these stories can be mainstream, romantic, dramatic, and yes, sexy, while still being deeply respectful. Because Kaloy Tingcungco is helping shape a future where being open, soft, and visible isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. Drop a 3 if Kaloy's rise made you believe queer love stories belong center stage. BJ Pascual. From behind the lens to the face of queer Filipino power. BJ Pascual didn't set out to be a star in front of the camera, but sometimes when your truth shines bright enough, there's no hiding it. He began as one of the Philippines' most in-demand fashion photographers. You've seen his work everywhere, from mega to preview, from red carpet spreads to Vogue-worthy portraits. His photos always carried a signature: bold, clean, luminous. BJ had a way of making his subjects look not just beautiful, but iconic. But somewhere along the way, BJ's own story became just as captivating as the ones he was telling through his lens. He came out publicly as gay in a time when few male figures in Filipino fashion and media were doing the same so openly. And instead of stepping back into anonymity, BJ leaned in. He transformed himself, not just as a creative, but as a visible, vocal queer figure in pop culture. What makes BJ Pascual stand out isn't just that he's gay. It's how he's turned queer identity into his superpower. From unapologetic interviews to gender-fluid fashion choices, BJ wears his truth with pride and with style. On Instagram, his presence is a curated mix of elegance and edge. Think sheer black crop tops, pearls over bare skin, androgynous suits with smoky eyeliner. It's fashion with a message, and that message is, "I will not shrink to fit your comfort." He's also used his platform to advocate for LGBTQ+ representation, body positivity, and mental health. One of his most powerful posts, a barefaced photo with the caption, "This is me, no filter, no fear." It instantly went viral. In 2021, BJ made headlines again when he publicly revealed his relationship with fitness coach Mike Lavares. It was the kind of soft, joyful queerness that rarely gets shown in the spotlight. Two men simply holding hands, smiling under the sun. It wasn't just a moment. It was a statement. We're here. We're in love. And we're not hiding. He later said in an interview, "I spent years being behind the scenes because I didn't think I deserved to be seen. Now I know better. Queer joy is worth showing off." BJ has also been invited to speak at pride panels, LGBTQ+ forums, and creative conferences, where he shares his story not just as a photographer, but as a voice for queer visibility. His message is always clear: be seen, be proud, be loud if you want, but always be you. Today, he's more than a photographer. He's a symbol of style, of strength, of queer brilliance that refuses to blend in. Because BJ Pascual didn't just shoot the stars, he became one. Drop a 4 if BJ's glow-up gave you permission to shine, too. Sky Quizon, the sweetheart, turned queer sensation. When you first meet Sky Quizon, on screen or online, it's hard not to smile. He has that effortless charm, the boyish grin, the soft-spoken warmth, the kind of charisma that feels safe but intriguing. But don't let the sweetheart vibe fool you. Sky Quizon is one of the boldest voices representing young queer energy in the Philippines right now. Sky first gained national attention as a contestant on Pinoy Big Brother, Otso, where he was introduced as the breadwinner ng Pampanga. From the start, his gentle but confident presence drew attention. But it was his authenticity, his emotional openness, intelligence, and empathy that made viewers stay. He wasn't just there to win, he was there to connect. What fans didn't expect was how gracefully and honestly Sky would embrace queerness in his public life post-PBB. While many male housemates fade after reality TV, Sky used his platform to dive deeper into hosting, vlogging, and eventually, advocacy. On social media, he started sharing his thoughts on gender expression, mental health, body confidence, and LGBTQ+ rights in a way that was rare for male celebrities in the Philippines. Though he hasn't labeled his sexuality in black and white terms, Sky has always been clear in his messaging. I believe in love without limits, I believe in freedom, and I believe everyone deserves to be their full self without fear. This quiet bravery is what's made Sky Quizon a standout figure in Filipino queer media. He doesn't always wave the rainbow flag loudest, but his presence alone, calm and consistent, is revolutionary in a culture where toxic masculinity still reigns. And yes, he's also a total heartthrob. Sky has become a low-key fashion icon in the making. On red carpets, he pairs soft pastels with tailored cuts. On Instagram, he's all about clean fits, crop tops, high-waisted pants, and the occasional subtle glam look. Nothing overdone, but everything intentional. It's masculinity, redefined, and his fans are obsessed. This year, he went viral again after posting a reel captioned, "Wear what you want, say what you feel, love who you love." The video showed him dancing freely in an oversized shirt and pearls, laughing with friends on a rooftop. The comments were flooded with variations of, "Thank you for being you." And maybe that's Sky Quizon's superpower. He proves that queer pride doesn't always have to be loud to be loudly felt. Because in every quiet smile, every fluid outfit, every post about honesty and self-worth, Sky reminds us that living authentically can be its own quiet rebellion, and a beautiful one at that. Drop a 5 if Sky's courage made you believe softness is strength. From actors and artists to photographers and digital icons, these 5 stars are proving that queer visibility in the Philippines is stronger, bolder, and more beautiful than ever. Their stories aren't just about fame, they're about truth, courage, and the power of being seen exactly as you are. In a world that often asks LGBTQ+ individuals to shrink, they chose to expand, to take up space, to dance in pearls, speak from the heart, love out loud, and remind us all that pride isn't just a parade, it's a daily decision to exist boldly. So which of today's stories hit you the hardest? Who made you feel a little prouder to live your truth? Drop their number in the comments, we're reading everyone, and let us know, where are you watching from? Because the more we celebrate queer Filipino icons, the more space we create for the next generation to shine even brighter. Stay loud, stay proud, and we'll see you in the next episode of Rainbow Spotlight.